in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's so. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, in freedom, in freedom, peace and unity. Arise, my people, arise, my
The United States underwent a transformative change after South Carolina seceded from the Union in 1860, followed by other states, leading to the Civil War in 1861. Yet, despite this tumultuous past, America continues to thrive, and many still aspire to reach its shores in pursuit of the American dream. Just as the sun has consistently shone, Nigeria's union has been subject of contention since its formation in 1914, when the northern and southern protectorates were united into a single entity. Despite numerous attempts to address the issues, the divisions have only grown wider. Is it time to overhaul our system and focus on good governance to create a more united and prosperous nation? Or is it time to separate? By advocating for a system based on the desire for good governance rather than ethnicity, we can move towards a brighter future, recognizing that there is a time for everything, including birth, death, war, and peace. We have the opportunity to reshape our nation's destiny. Join us for a thought-provoking and hopeful conversation as we explore this topic on various social media.
By former military president Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, after he acknowledged that the late MKO Abiola won the presidential election held on June 12, 1993. IBB's revelation came at the book launch of his autobiography, A Journey in Service, in Abuja on Thursday. Babangida annulled the June 12 election, sparking widespread protests and unrest in the country. But 3 decades after the annulment, during the review of his autobiography, former Vice President Yemiosinbajo read a section that shed light on the events surrounding the annulment.
Although I am on record to have stated after the elections that Abiola may not have won the elections, upon deeper reflection and a closer examination of all available facts, particularly the detailed election results, which are published as an appendix to this book, there was no doubt that MKO Abiola won the June 12th elections. Upon closer examination of the original collated figures from the 110 polling booths nationwide, it was clear that he satisfied the two main constitutional requirements for winning the presidential elections, mainly majority votes and geographical spread. Having obtained 8,128,720 votes against TOFA's 5,848,247 votes, and securing the mandatory one-third of the votes cast in 28 states of the Federation, including Abuja.
All right, reactions have trailed. Let me take this from characteristics. We wrote, better late than never. I was a very young teenager, not eligible to vote during the June 12, 1993 elections. And in my lifetime, I have never seen such a robust campaign that got the attention of the whole nation, both young and old. The jingles on radios and televisions for both the NRC and, of course, that of the SDP were top-notch. I still remember part of the jingle. Abiola na my manu, SDP na the party to solve all our problems for better tomorrow. SDP, Kingibe, Abiola, Abiola, progress. Oh, what a memory. Nigeria indeed lost an opportunity to advance, and generations lost an opportunity to see their nation compete in the Committee of Nations for years, all because of a leadership that couldn't look beyond its nostrils. Well, former military head of state Ibrahim Babangida on Thursday expressed regret over the annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, describing it the most difficult period of his life.
As the leader of the military administration, I accept full responsibility for all decisions taken under my watch. And June 12 happened under my watch. Mistakes, oversights, and missteps happen in quick succession. But I say in my book, in all matters we acted in the supreme national interest so that Nigeria could survive. Our nation's march to democracy was interrupted, a fact that I deeply regret, but Nigeria survived and democracy is still alive, a testament to our resilience and commitment to progress.
I must say, I was very impressed by this. Rufai, you were there, but I'd like to just sum up the whole reaction before I come to you, Rufai. Well, during the review of the book launch, former Vice President Yemiosinbajo jokingly remarked that President Bola Tinubu was now celebrating with his former tormentors. He recalled how Tinubu was a senator at the time, resisted the dissolution of the Senate under Sani Abacha, following the annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election.
And then, of course, there's a gentleman here who was an elected senator in 1992 in the course of Babangida's transition program. When Babangida annulled the 1993 election and General Abacha took over and dissolved the Senate, that senator tried to reconstitute the Senate in resistance to the dissolution. He was detained, charged to court. He escaped into exile. Today, he is also here to celebrate with his former tormentors. But as president, commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and here we are again. Actually wanted to play the last part of that video that aligns with the topic of discussion this evening. The focus is on Tinubu, the rise of political dynasty. He was there. He saw the June 12 election, the annulment. He rose against it. In the process, he went on exile. And today, he is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. such the question is, did he learn anything from history? But before we go into Tinubu and the topic, the rise of the political dynasty, listening to babangida in respect to the annulment of the June 12, 1993 election. And first of all, I kind of wonder when I was listening to it and the people clapping, I kind of asked myself this question. Why are they clapping? What are they clapping for? For him expressing deep regret, which we should, as human beings, do, to express deep regret for anything wrong that we have done and apologize. But in this context, we said we acted in the supreme national interest and to keep Nigeria, to make Nigeria. Nigeria is still there today, and the democracy is, what democracy is he actually referring to? What does the law say in respect to such individuals who come out outrightly to make such an announcement? I don't know the aspect of that law. But again, the question is, how does that action constitute to what, to the national interest of what, of the country, of the nation at the time? These are questions that only he and those in power then can be able to answer. Unfortunately, those who are supposed to pose this question to him, please, I don't like to use some certain words, but permit me to use this word. They are as useless themselves. And this is the lawmakers that we have in Nigeria. And we saw what's happening between Akpabio and Natasha. That's another story of his own. Now, in trying to process what Abacha did, Babangida did, and in that election, and what happened in 2023 general election, yes, no one has come out to admit, no government official has come out to admit that, oh, the election was stolen by Tinubu, even though it is obvious to the blind and to the deaf that the election, but there is no official statement that have come out. Unlike now, after so many years, 3 decades, according to what you heard there, it came out. Maybe another 3 decades, Mahmoud will come out to say, "Oh, actually, the election was won by Peter Obi, but for some reasons, it was either manipulated or forced, or the devil was using him at that time to say what." It was Tinubu. His conscience will prick him. Then he will come out and say, I deeply regret. And yet the nation, the people who are suffering the bunch of these decisions are what? Are the masses, the citizens. So, but going by the topic again, we have nobody to blame. With the citizens, we have nobody to blame in these issues that is playing or that has played before us right now. Take a deeper, a closer look at this. The June 12th election was annulled. The 2020 general election, where the people, the masses, came out to vote for a man who, in my opinion, is now a disappointment in terms of the mandate that was given to him, which is Peter Obi, unfortunately. But it's about the people right now. And I've taken a different position that it is us, the citizens, will allow such things to continue. Now, look at the people that sat down in that book launch and the amount of money that was donated. Almost, according to, if I continue playing the video, you see almost 17 billion was donated for what? For his library, whereby you can't go to any school in Nigeria today that they'll boast of what? A library. I mean, when I was going to school back in the days, there was library, public library that we go to. But in present time, there is no single library. I don't think I have, except you go to the universities, you will see library. I don't think any secondary school, I stand to be corrected, have a functional library where students can go and what and study. But yet, in a book launch by a former president, congregated there, those who congregated there, Obasanjo was there, Oshibajo was there, even the current president is equally there, who his job is what? Is to be taxing the people. The price of phone calls or communication have risen, and why the people are the one bearing the brunt of this tax in tariff plays on communication. Is there? They all sat down there laughing, and we the masses that are feeling the brunt of what is happening, that are feeling the pain of what is happening, what are we doing? We're sitting down doing nothing. And these individuals right now, as the topic shows, in 2027, the son of the president, Seyi Tinubu, will be governor of what? Of Lagos State. We see what is playing out there. You go against them, then that is what you are going to see. And in 2031, if his father is there, and in 2031, the father is there after the 2027 general election, which is guaranteed that what the father will still be there for another 4 years, which will be 8 years. Then he will hand over to his son in 2031. These are projections, and these are fact projections, except something miraculous happen. Either the man dies or whatever happened, or the people decide to rise up against this authoritarian that we are seeing, this family dynasty that is rising up. We have nobody to blame. But what? But ourselves. Should people like what's his name? Babangida. Yes, it's on a wheelchair today. A lesson for every one of us that where we are today, it's not permanent, particularly when it comes to age. It's on wheelchair today. This was a man who is strong, moving around. Now it's on wheelchair. All power belongs to God. We are mortal human beings. And when you fail to realize that we are mortal human beings and we put our fellow human being into what? Into suffering deliberately, intentionally, put them into suffering, thinking that we will live forever, that is one of the most craziest things any human being will ever think. Because why? Nature will take its own course. We acted in the supreme national interest. If you acted in the supreme national interest, like the current president also claiming whatever he's doing is for the best interest of the nation with no evidence, his policies are just tax oriented and wanting to hold on to power to take as much money as they want to take without giving a damn shit about the people. But again, we have nobody to blame. So let's ask ourselves questions as citizens. What exactly is this national interest? Is it to prevent war? Which war? What war wants to come? After all, they've been able to say the war that led was to free Obafemi Awolowo. I've not read the memoir in details. Even the book, whether I'm going to buy it, I don't know. Someone said it costs about 40,000 naira. 40,000 naira to buy the book. Who is going to cover 40,000 naira in present day Nigeria to buy babangida book? Definitely, it's those within their own circle that will buy it and give it to people, because the ordinary Nigerian to afford that's somebody's salary in a month. Some are not even earning up to 40,000 naira in a month. How much is the minimum wage? So, what are we going to do as people? We saw what is playing out between Natasha and Akpabio. That's another issue that needs to be dealt with. It's still down to the people. So, what are we going to do as a people? Because now they are claiming that what it is in the interest, the supreme national interest, national law, which is you and I. So, what is this supreme national interest? That is the question that should be on our mind and be asking ourselves. Is it to give us electricity, or to give us a good job, or the roads, or the healthcare sector, the tourism? What exactly is this supreme national interest? To be honest, the grammar, according to worry people, the grammar confused me. What is this supreme national interest that they are trying to protect at the time, and also still claiming to protect now? And we sit down watching, listening, letting the days go by. It should be 4 years. 4 years. 4 years will be 8 years. 8 years will be 16 years. 16 years will be what? Will be another 20 years. 20 years will be another 24 years. As it has been, so shall it be. However, the people continue to sit down by the rivers of Babylon. There we sat down. There we were told to sing a Zion song for them. We acted. We did nothing. So, before we start to blame anybody, the citizens should start to ask ourselves a question. What is the supreme national interest that made them, babangida, to annul this election? Tinubu rose at that time against such barbaric behavior. Here today said, steal the ballot box, run with it. Today, nobody can stand against him or speak against him. They will either be silenced or be thrown into jail. This is the same person. What has he done for you? Ask yourself that question. What have we learned from history? We have historians. Knowledge is very good, but what has that knowledge done for us over time? He said he showed remorse. I mean, he apologized. He said regrettably he didn't cut himself and blood was bleeding out, or this and that. The man has apologized, but the damage, the harm, people died, particularly Abiola died during their process. Even in the 2023 election as well, too, people died because of wanting a better nation. And they will come out and say, we acted in the supreme national interest. If indeed the interest of the nation or democracy is what is your forefront, you care about it, why did you annul the election? I can come out and say, I was telling somebody, I'm sorry, and the person doesn't even want to hear sorry. So these are the things that baffles me, and I took a different position going forward, that until we, the citizens, have to rise up. We don't have that moral ground to talk against our leaders. Because for us to talk against them and still sit down and do nothing, nothing will change. I've campaigned vigorously on a particular section in the Constitution. And that is what, whether Natasha was right or wrong between a feud with Akpabio, that is one of the things she's highlighting. These are the people who are representing us. And we, the people, have more power to what? To influence decisions, policies, because through them, they are representing us. But you know what I get every time? Oh, that cannot work. The most it's too difficult, it's too challenging, it will never work in Nigeria. This is something we have not tried, except in the time of Dino Melaye, that was all cooked up by some individuals. But have we really, as citizens, democrat in all sense of democracy, in our constituency, come out and say, you know what, let's take the bull by the horn. Let's invoke section 68 and 69 and 110 of the Constitution. When have we, the people, come out to say, let's take this bull by the horn? Because reading by what is going on right now, come 2027, it's clear that we are not going to elect a good leader, a good leader that have the interest, even though they claim they always acted in the supreme national interest. It's all cock and bull story. It's all lies. They don't act on any supreme national interest. Rather, they are acting on their selfish, self-centered interests, where they align their pockets with money and their bank account and offshore account and foreign account, leaving the masses in abject poverty. It's all lie. And those who are clapping, I read an article from Femi Fani Kayode or whatever it is, applauding Babangida, saying his admission as he will heal a lot of wounds. Cock and bull story. How can such educated people be saying such a thing? Sometimes you ask yourself, what is the point of this people just getting educated? The citizens barely can afford a 3 square meal a day. And somebody is saying it will heal. What wound will it heal? The people only ask for the basic things. The Nigerians only need basic things. That is what they are requesting for. Even though it is their fundamental right, they still have to request for it. They're not requesting for it right now. We are begging for it to give us this thing. And yet, this evil, atrocious human being called leaders claim to say that we acted in the supreme national interest, and people are applauding, clapping for them. If I tell you what comes to my head as to what should have happened in that place at that time, I probably will get arrested. So I ain't going to voice it out. You won't hear it from my mouth. All those people gathered themselves together in that conference. There, Oshibajo, Obasanjo, Tinubu, Babangida, every one of them there. There are both past leaders and governors. You won't hear it from my mouth. This is social media. Before they now say, oh, this is what this man says. This is what he intends to do. And you know, my enemies, my village people, those people, the monitoring spirit, them going around them, saying things about electricity. They'll be the one to pick it up and run with it. So you won't hear it from me. We acted in the supreme national interest. The question should be asked, what is this supreme national interest? I'll continue the video as we continue in this discussion to see exactly what do they mean? What does it mean in the supreme national interest? There's some other comments that were lighted in that. So we'll play that comment as well too, so that we see what people really are saying.
It's great that we can all laugh about this at this moment, but that room was filled with dignitaries at the moment, including, of course, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who chaired the occasion. Well, at that occasion, he told Ibrahim Babangida to expect good and bad and ugly reactions to his book.
I am anxious to read the book. One thing is absolutely sure. Reaction galore. Again, it will be good, bad, and ugly. But your duty must be due, and you have done it.
He has done it, right? Let me take more reactions. This is from Gimba, who wrote, and then came General Babangida's book launch. The political class is one big family. 35 years ago, some of the people in that Transcorp room didn't see eye to eye, and you would have sworn they would never get along. I don't know what you think about karma, but IBB has had the most perfect ending anyone could imagine, celebrated by those who once antagonized him. Even without an apology, he would have still been friends with some of them. That's the reality of class struggle, something Karl Marx once warned us about, and that is a fact. But you know, another thing that was quite, I don't know what to call it, awesome at the event was the amount of money that was raised for the library. Let me take Disarki's tweet. He wrote, over 17 billion was donated at the launch of IBB's autobiography, yet they can't come together to remove children from the streets in the north and put an end to Almajiri. God sees us all. That's an actual fact.
God sees us all. 17 billion was donated at the launch of IBB's autobiography, yet they can't come together to remove children from the streets in the north, including the south, everywhere, and put an end to what? To Amajiri, and put an end to poverty, and build libraries, and donate and make education accessible. They cannot come together to say what? To say, listen, let's make electricity possible for everyone. Let's make this electricity available for the citizen, so that they can afford this thing. But 17 billion, Dangote pledged 2 billion every year. And if the project exceeds beyond its 3 years or 4 years, whatever timeline for the project, it will continue to donate. And yet, we have bad roads. We have what? Bad roads. No electricity. Education is zero. Healthcare is zero. So, God sees all. Yes, and one would believe that God sees all. God also sees all in Canada, in the United States, in the United Kingdom. But their leaders are doing things right to a large extent by the people. God also sees all too. So, how long are we going to continue to say God sees us all, and we continue to sit silent and expect that judgment of God to fall? When will that be? Millions and billions of people would have died. For those of us who read history, or who are historians, or who are more knowledgeable than me, who I'm sitting down here, in the small history knowledge I have not seen anywhere a good change occur without the people having to rise up against a government that do not have their good at heart, even though they claim, or they are claiming, like what is happening today, they are claiming that we acted in the supreme national interest. How wicked, how more wicked can we be? Of course, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But 3 decades ago, a mistake was made. That's what it claimed to be. And yet, we've not seen any change in any of the leaders that have come, Abacha, anyone except Yaradua. Credit must be given to Yaradua, who we claim did. But all we do is blame and blame and blame and blame and blame and blame the white man and the Western man. We take no responsibility or accountability for our foolishness or for our sitting down, our doing nothing. I'm sorry, like I said, I'm using some words that may not sit well with us. And I apologize for that if it actually offends you, but I just felt that when are we going to change this thing? Those of us in diaspora, our children, if care is not taken, are lost forever. Their heritage. And we continue to waste things in Nigeria. We waste natural resources. The sun, we waste it. We have this potential to generate revenue from what? From tourism. We waste it. It's all going to waste. We flare gas into the air that should have been returned back into the system for the masses in an affordable price to buy, to purchase. But you know what? We, the citizens, have nobody to blame. It's our fault. Don't blame Babangida or Abacha. Yes, we can be furious against them. I can understand that, which I am furious also. But how long are we going to continue to blame them? How long are we? 17 billion was donated at the launch of IBB's autobiography. Those who have benefited from him or from his government at that time, yet they can't come together to remove children from the street in the north and put an end to it is possible to put an end to what? To darkness in Nigeria. I speak from experience. It is possible to put an end to this epileptic electricity issue in Nigeria, but they refuse to. 2027 will come. From next year now, everybody will be campaigning. 5,000 naira, bag of rice. Everybody will be going for what they will eat. The ESOS generation. We are the ESOS generation. We put our hunger, our earthly hunger, our immediate gratification or certification, we sacrifice it, our future for it. We sacrifice our future for it, just as Esau did. Nigerians are Esau's generation. That's who we are. Sold our birthright. It can be reclaimed. In this context, it can be reclaimed because Esau tried to reclaim his son. He couldn't. It took years before he was able to break that hold or that chain, according to Bible prophecy, over Jacob. 17 billion was donated. What a shame. And you see people, you hear people clapping. What exactly are they clapping for? For Babangida to say he regretted? That's all. That's all he will say. What next? And so what? This is not an individual. This is not between a friend and a friend. This is between you and a nation at that time. What is the state of that nation now? What is the state of the nation? And yet, those who sit down there are saying, oh, they are so impressive or whatever. I don't understand us, honestly speaking. I really don't get us. What is impressive there? What is impressive there? What is impressive of Tinubu being there, laughing, and doing the same thing, in my opinion, doing the same thing that IBB did, or did the same thing, my opinion, there's no official record out there that that election was stolen. But we all know that the election, the 2023 election, was stolen. My opinion, which I'm entitled to. Fellow citizens, how long are we going to tolerate these people? How long are we going to sit down doing nothing? How long are we going to allow the future of our children to be stolen, to be bastardized, that to the extent that they don't see any future for them again? How long are we going to sit down and brains and talents leave the country and go to other nations where the environment is conducive and they excel beyond their own, even beyond their own imagination? All because they make that environment, particularly electricity, available for them to be able to do what they need to do at the time. How long? But again, we have what? We have nobody to blame. But what? But ourselves, the citizen. We can lament from now till thy kingdom come, lamentation upon lamentation, till now till thy kingdom come. But when we sit down by that riverside of Babylon and we do nothing and expecting manna from heaven, expecting someone from somewhere to come and deliver us, or for God, or for another Jesus Christ, or for another, nah, it's up to us. It's in our hands and not in the hands of anyone. Thank you, and what? I hope to come your way again. God bless. Have a good and lovely weekend until I see you again.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland, with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's so. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom. In freedom. In freedom. Peace and unity. Arise, my people, arise, my with love and strength and faith. With all our hearts and minds we serve.